Welcome back to Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2020. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Happy hump day, ladies and gentlemen. The good news, you made it through half your week so far. And the weekend is almost here. The bad news is that we now have the official word that the Arnold South America has been officially canceled. After pushing back the date of the show twice since the start of the season, this week officials from the Arnold Sports Festival announced that they just had to postpone the show until next year due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Some of you might remember that we covered this show live a few years ago, which was an awesome experience. So it's a shame for everyone involved that they won't get a chance to experience it this year. That being said, officials from the event have said that they plan to resume the festivities next year, so here's to hoping that 2021 turns out to be the best one yet. Even though we're still 6 months away from the Olympia, you can already see a lot of title subplots starting to develop, and in the fitness division, Adela Garcia's return to the stage probably comes in right there at the top of the list. After a 6-year layoff, the 8-time Olympia champ is jumping back into the mix this year to compete against one of the most competitive groups of athletes we've ever had. Truth be told, the majority of the women competing on the Olympia stage this year are too young to have even competed against Adela when she was in her prime, which I would think adds some more juice to the way they're approaching their prep as well. After such a long layoff, it's hard to say how much gas Adela has left in the tank. But if she's at 90% at least as good as she was when she was at the peak of her powers, it makes this event a whole lot more fascinating. I've been lucky enough to visit Tampa during the summer, and I can say that it's an awesome place to visit, especially when one of the sports teams are in town. But luckily for Milan Sadek, he could find out firsthand when he touches down in South Florida a few weeks from now for his season debut. A few days ago, we got word from Milan's team that he was planning to make his 2020 debut at the Tampa Pro, which is suddenly becoming a destination for a lot of the top names in the sport. Every single time we see Milan on an IFBB stage, he adds something new to his repertoire. So if he does it again in Tampa, we should see him in the mix for a top 3 finish. And finally, we're ending today's show on a somber note, as we report on the murder of George Floyd, the unarmed black man who was killed in police custody on May 25th. We're not going to recount the story or make a political statement here or try to use our platform to influence your opinion on the issues. There are plenty of other places where you can go to find that information. Instead, all I want to do here is shed light on the fact that the NPC and IFBB decided that this issue was so important they felt the need to release a statement. And this might be the only time in recent memory that I've ever seen the organization decide to do something like this, which should tell you just how widespread the fallout of this incident actually is. At some point, I'm sure they'll make a documentary about 2020 and all the events that have made this year one of the most pivotal moments in recent history. And I can guarantee you that the story of George Floyd and what happened in the streets of America after that became the catalyst that reshaped our culture. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions. And make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.